Welcome to the Babies in Business Podcast. Join your hosts, Rachel and Avram Gonzalez, real-life parents and business partners. Each week on Babies in Business, Rachel and Avram create a space for entrepreneurial parents to find their own way. They'll dive into insights on topics like leadership, efficiency, self-awareness, budgeting, and human psychology as they nurture their family and build their business. Here's your hosts, Avram and Rachel.
Hey, welcome back to the Babies in Business Podcast. This is your host, Avram Gonzalez, joined by the fabulous Rachel Gonzalez. Today's topic is decluttering your house, declutter your business. And this is going to be fast and furious, short interview with Rachel because she had some powerful insights that we both felt like would be of value to you, our listeners. When you are building a business and raising a baby, time is short. Things fall through the cracks. And what's one of the things that usually falls through the cracks? Basically everything at home.
Yep.
Like we're like facing the embarrassment from time to time of like, I don't know if I want to be able to say like how much shit is stacked up in the living room right now. Today we're recording this episode. I think it's December 12th or 13th. We don't have the Christmas tree up yet. Shh, don't tell anybody. Secret's out. But I want Rachel here to kick us off here and let us know what things, like what is the inspiration for this podcast? Because we had a lot of like emotional turmoil, I think.
Yeah.
About how much things changed after the birth of our child. Like, it was just you and me.
Yeah.
The house was pretty dang immaculate. Like, we're pretty tidy people for the most part.
Yeah.
And that changed a lot.
Yes, it did. Well, it's over this last 6 months of Lincoln's life, I've had opportunity and burden to do a lot of reflecting, seeing the house and how it's just gone in decline as far as like keeping up with things and simple things like we used to cook a lot and not together.
A lot.
And we don't cook together most times. It's more like, okay, divide and conquer. I'm going to take care of the baby. How about you make breakfast? That kind of thing. So for me, growing up, I grew up in a very disorganized, oh God, how do I describe my childhood home? I would say hoarders, maybe. I think it was very messy, a lot of things, and some of the rooms that were in my home had dirt as a floor. And if it did have some kind of flooring, it was maybe carpet on top of the dirt floor. We had leaky roofs all the time, most of the time. So you take a pot or a pan and you catch the leak. It doesn't really help. It's still humid in the room and it's really weird. So I grew up in that situation and now I'm living in a home that is so different and beautiful and I want to be able to keep it clean. And so while we did take care of our house prior to the baby, I always felt a little bit inadequate in housework. Not because I don't like clean things and our house wasn't clean. I'm not saying that it wasn't clean, but it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. I thrive on systems and I didn't really have a system. So what I did about maybe 2 weeks ago-ish, I had to use some credits on Audible. And so I found a book that was talking about organizing things. It's called How to Manage Your Home Without Losing Your Mind by Dana K. White. And I just started listening to this book and it gave me some ideas about what to start with. And the first thing she says is do the dishes. And she's like, I know, you're thinking, do the dishes? What? If my house was just as simple as doing dishes, then I wouldn't have picked up this damn book. So she has these other strategies. And really, it was really amazing because I walked away with tools. It's a simple read, and I actually listened to it, and I have been able to implement simple things as system, and doing certain things regularly makes it so that your house stays clean, and you're able to do the different things that might come up here and there. And it's kind of like business too. When you keep things in order, then when the things that come up that are more fires or urgent, then you're actually able to deal with them and it doesn't feel like a huge thing. So I was able to take what I learned from that book and apply it in our house, but then I was able to apply it in our business as well.
Right. Well, you touched on something really important. We go on almost daily walks. Sometimes our schedule doesn't allow it now. And it's just tough, right? But there's this spot where this summer, every time we went through this area, there was a tremendous amount of water flowing down the sidewalk from upstream where they were overwatering the grass. And I was pointing out to Rachel the other day as we went back up this loop, this area we haven't been to in a while on our walk, and I showed her where the sidewalk had eroded in a very dramatic way, all because of that water that had just been pouring down throughout the entire summer. And I said, look, this is what happens when a small problem becomes a big problem. And if they would have just paid attention to this early on, it would have never become a problem. And I think that's sort of like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
With some of the strategies you learned from this book.
Yeah, I learned from this book that you have certain non-negotiables in your house. We're talking about keeping up a house, and our business can be the same thing where we have non-negotiables in our house that we do every single day or every week, however often and frequent we need to do those things to keep the house up. And then we add things to that as they come along. You know, if our house is always kept up to a certain level, then if the dog vomits in the bed,
Sure.
then you can immediately put that in the washer, and you don't have to actually have anxiety about the fact that, oh, you might need to add socks and underwear to that because none of your family or kids will have socks and underwear to wear tomorrow. You know, then you don't have those emergencies pop up.
Building a business while raising a family can be tough to juggle for any entrepreneur. Knowing where to focus and how to spend your limited time is critical to your success. That's why Babies in Business has produced and made available a fantastic audio resource for you. It's titled 5 Key Focus Areas to Build a Profitable Business Without Burnout. During this short training, Rachel and Avram peel back the curtain on their secrets to building a business that serves your family, your dreams, and beyond. To download your free copy of the 5 Key Focus Areas, go to babiesandbiz.com/download. Again, that's babiesandbiz.com/download to get your free copy. We hope you enjoy. Now, back to the podcast.
So I think you had a couple of points that you wanted to discuss in how this really applies to business, what you learned from this book, and what is essentially like a book on decluttering and what feels like a housekeeping book in some ways. Why don't you walk me through those? I know you have at least 3 of them. Your role at Digital Harvest, our business, is a flex between a couple of different things right now, one of which is project manager. So I know that some of these things directly apply to that.
Yeah.
But let me know, what are some of these points you want to make here?
Yeah, so one of them, the first one, is that this book helped me understand that you need to have something that's achievable.
Achievable?
Achievable.
Okay.
If it is not achievable, then it's really not a goal. It's more like a hope or a wish or a dream. You're not ever actually going to see that finished or completed. And so I was able to begin the process of applying this to our business by having an achievable goal.
Okay, so making things smaller, more
Yep.
tangible, maybe doing the floor in one room of the house instead of all of it.
Yes.
All right, what's the second one?
And the second one is, you know, we have processes in our business right now to help the clients get served to the best of our ability that lines out every single task that we do and how frequently and all those different
Which
things.
team members are responsible?
Exactly, but they are very complicated. And I had the epiphany. I thought, okay, so we're still actually testing out these systems. Some of them don't work quite seamlessly yet.
It's always a process making processes.
Yes, and I'm always changing things or updating things. And when there's a million tasks, you're going through millions of tasks to change them up. So I thought, if we could simplify this down to just a couple of tasks, then it's going to be easier to change them and modify them to get to that efficiency spot that we want to get to. So I simplified the processes.
Cool. We might end up having a follow up on that because there's actually a lot to that individual point.
Yeah.
What's the third point you wanted to make?
And I took that, so I took an achievable goal, I took the simplified process, and I applied it to one role in our business. So I was able to streamline one team member's role very well, get some very good visibility into that role and the weekly task, daily task kind of system, and really just blow it out.
Yeah, it only took like 1 or 2 days once you got there. I mean, Rachel's been doing a tremendous amount of things for the household and the baby as we transition back into the business. And so becoming reacquainted with
Yeah.
processes and things that she hadn't looked at or touched in a long time, I think gave her fresh eyes, new perspective. And like she said, touching on these 3 different points made it very possible and powerful when these things were completed. So how do we sum this whole thing up and what's the point that we're trying to make here?
Yeah, so I think it's just really the one that really sticks out to me is very achievable goals.
Okay.
When we have very achievable goals, then everything else falls into place, because that was the first thing that sent me into the thought of like even having the energy to do any kind of project management, because before this time I felt so overwhelmed.
Oh.
Processes were absolutely complex. The visibility of it was not great, and I was just really depressed about it. And once I got the clarity from the book that was about decluttering my home, it helped me have clarity about so many different things, and I actually was so excited to apply it into our business.
Much more simple, easier to attack. I think
Yep.
overwhelm is the key word. Gosh, what new parents aren't overwhelmed, yet alone building a business on top of it?
Yeah, so it gave me a lot of peace, like in our home. Our home is starting to have some normalcy with our routines. And then with those routines, it also gives me time to put towards these things that are feel a little bit more passionate to me right now. I know you don't have to have passion in the work that you do, but it sure is nice when you do.
It sure is, babe. It sure is. Well, that's going to be a wrap today for our episode on Declutter Your House, Declutter Your Business. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you got questions and things like that, you can certainly connect with us on social media and all the popular channels. You can also shoot us an email at hello@babiesinbiz.com. But more than anything, we would just love your subscription. Hit that subscribe button on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever it is you're listening, so you can catch new and updated episodes of Babies in Biz every single time they drop. Again, we appreciate you listening. We can't wait to bring the next topic to your inbox at a time coming soon. With that, we're going to bid you adieu and see you on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Babies in Business podcast. Who do you know that would benefit from hearing this episode? Share it with them and post about it on social media. You can find the show notes for this episode, free downloads, and connect with the rest of the community at babiesandbiz.com. We'll see you next time.